Hi, everybody. Got a little winter out there. 4 inches of snow. Yeah. So thanks to everyone who attended the retreat. That was I hope that was a good experience for you. And thanks to everybody who has sent donations or will in the future, and in whatever amount, depending on your circumstances. So hey, Russ is back. Hi, Russ. It's been a while.
Yeah, a long time. I'm home at 6 on a Wednesday, so.
Oh, good news. Okay, and Jane, is this your first time? You got to unmute a little bit.
I've done 2 retreats with you.
Okay.
Usually I can't make this time.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, welcome.
Thank you.
Yeah, glad you're all here. Okay. So you're all familiar with this is called the Taiji symbol. And I think everyone's pretty familiar with this. It's in popular culture. The thing about this symbol that I want to mention tonight is that this is the top view. Okay, this is looking down on it. And if you look sideways, if you look from the side, it's a spiral. Okay, so the teaching, the Taoist teaching, the ancient teachings, when we take birth, the qi that forms the human spirals down counterclockwise. Okay, and there's all kinds of debate about these things, but I'm just telling you this is one of the teachings anyway, the one I know. And then at death, the life force energy leaves the body through the top of the head in clockwise direction. So clockwise is ascending and counterclockwise is descending. So they're balanced. And the dynamic of this, the swirling motion of this, it's not just circular, it's also spiraling. And this is a little more of a deeper level of teaching. And there are some movements that directly relate to this. For most of them, it's kind of implied. So the spiral, is just one of nature's forms. It appears in many places, like the structure of the galaxy, or a snail's shell, or if you look closely at a sunflower when it's got all its seeds in it, there's all these spirals. So it's a natural form. It's a natural shape. And Qigong is a lot about structure and form and movement of energy through these forms. So it's one of the ways. And so we'll explore some of that, standing and sitting. The other one I want to mention that's related to that is a form called the torus, T-O-R-U-S. And some of you maybe are familiar with it. Others, maybe you didn't study geometry very much, but we'll do it. But if you put water in a pot, say a glass pot, and you boil it, the motion of the water, it goes, let's see, up the middle and then out, spreads out, and then goes down, goes up and around. That's a torus. That shape is sort of hollow in the middle, and then it spreads out in all directions. So that's another natural form. And my friend, the ornithologist Todd Highsmith, says that that's actually how birds are described. That there's their internal digestive system and so on. The outside, they eat things, the outside comes in and goes through and then goes back out. And I suppose you could describe almost all living animals in that way. I don't know. Todd, do you want to comment on that? Have I butchered that, or is that correct?
I wonder if you're thinking of when we talked about bird breathing. and how it's like a constant flow in out rather than like an inhale, exhale kind of thing.
Okay, maybe that was it.
Yeah,
So it just moves through.
yeah. As far as toruses, I think of toruses as like a donut.
A donut is a form of a torus,
Yeah,
right?
a donut that's always
Right,
refreshing itself or something.
right. And there are Taiji move or Qigong movements too that are toruses. So we're just kind of focused on those two forms. And we'll be doing a little bit longer sitting tonight at the end. So be sure you have your seat ready. Okay. Okay, so whoops, let me put it on speaker. That's better for the YouTube folks. Sorry. There we go. So the first one for the spiral, and we've talked. This is just the most ordinary, common Tai Chi warm up. If you go and you take Tai Chi and you enter the room, people are going to probably be doing something like this. Now, this is the arms take our attention, because that's what it looks like. We're moving our arms, but we're not. We're turning our waist, and we're sinking down into first one foot and then the other. Okay. And Trisha Yu, my teacher, calls this the Tai Chi twist. It's a spiral. It's a spiraling motion, and we're spiraling down into the weighted foot. Okay, and so it's a wind up, really. If you're going to do bowling, or if you're going to throw a ball or bat a ball or something, there's this wind up where you coil up and get the energy and then release it. So this we're coiling up and then releasing the energy from left to right, and this is a spiral motion, and it's driven by the muscles in the thighs and so on, but it requires loose hips. If you're really tight, you can't really do this. You can't sink down. So you want to be able to sort of sit down when you're doing this. And this basic spiraling motion drives a lot of Tai Chi, because it's what accumulates the power for the martial aspect of it, for the self-defense. And it's in many of the Qigong movements too. So if you just focus on feeling that spiraling, that twisting of the body, spiraling down. Okay, and then just let go, just reduce the movement. So we want to keep that in mind. And then, so the torus is tree and spring. And so we'll do this more, but if you just practice tree and spring, so we're moving up the center line. Now this is a tube or a column that's actually empty, and then out and then down the sides. Okay, and we're not just going left and right, we're going down front and back too. So we're coming up and we're going down all the way around, and then pointing down, and then coming up this hollow, this central channel up the middle. And this is the convection current if you're boiling water. And this is in weather. The heat rises up and it gets to a point in the sky where it's cooler, and then it falls and it comes down. And so this would be like a low pressure system in the middle of a storm or something. another, it's a natural movement of energy, this form, this torus, okay? And then tree in autumn, it's the same. It's just moving the opposite way. So that's the torus. And so this column in the middle is actually empty. And we can say there are 7 gates and different dantians and different levels. It's basically energy. It's not things. So, okay. So that's the torus. Okay. And these two, the torus and the spirals, relate to each other. Okay, so very good. Let's go ahead. Let's go ahead and bow through the directions. I'm starting with the east, if you know which way that is. And if you don't, it doesn't matter. Okay, so we're going to, so sit down, we wind up, in breath, out breath. And now turn to the south. Let the bending of the body expel the air. Turn to the west. And then to the north. And then above. Extend, stretch, look up. And below. And within. Now, if we place the hands on the body, we're contemplating that this physical body is the union of what the ancients called earth and heaven, materiality or form, and the immaterial or emptiness, consciousness. It's a mixture of those. We're aware that the body is the link. If you're placing your hands in front of the body, now we're focusing on the energy in the body, the movement, the aliveness, okay? And this is resonating, the palms are resonating with that central channel because there's a lot of energy. We can feel the palms are tingling and there's that energy moving in the body too. So that's what we're in touch with here. So when we go to sleep at night, we put our hands here, we're in touch with the physical body, the physical world, the senses. And then as we're practicing Qigong, we're feeling the heat, the tingling, kind of this presence of aliveness. Okay? And that's what's moving through the body. Okay. Okay, and so just let's loosen up head and neck, shoulders. So these moves are taught individually. There's the movement of the head, that's the turtle and the crane. And then there's the movement of the shoulders, circling the shoulders. These are taught as separate moves, and that's fine. And then if you want, you can just sort of organically just do all of them at once. Moving the head and neck, moving the shoulders, sort of just loosening up the whole upper body. And you do it one way for a little while, and then you do it the other direction. This begins to be a little reminiscent of Trembling Mountain, because you're just beginning to just move the whole body. Okay. And then let's do the opening. And if you've practiced opening the 7 gates many times, all 7 of them open when you just do this number. This is number 4, the heart. This resonates through the whole body. We're opening the whole body and then relaxing. So body, breath, and mind in harmony. Yeah, let's do a couple more. And the same with the hip flexibility. You know, these are taught as separate movements, rocking the pelvis. You can place your hands on the body or not. So rocking the pelvis. So we're sort of arching the back and then flattening the lower back. Okay, and then the next one is circling the hips. And we're also moving them forward and backwards. So actually these 2 movements can be combined. And we're not, instead of just circling, we're circling and moving forward and backward. So they can be combined too. And then always balance what you do by moving the other direction too. Okay, all right, very good. And then balancing. So this is taught in the beginning to help stay balanced. Shifting the weight. When you're ready, let that other heel come up. and that's very good. But you can also move the hands if you want to. It's just a little more fun. It's a little more loose to move more of the body than just one part. And there's a Tai Chi kick, goes like this. And you could sort of dance with your hands, whatever you want to do is fine. The main thing is the balance of on the foot, standing on one foot. And we haven't done this ever, but I do recommend standing on one foot sometimes as a form of standing meditation. We've done the standing postures in here many times, just on your own, as a meditation. Just assume, say, golden pheasant stands on left leg, and just sink into the posture for a number of breaths. It will cause you to concentrate quickly. Even more quickly than the normal standing, because you need to keep your balance. The one thing is, don't bend your knee too much or you'll stress your knee. Okay. So, I mean, that's up to you to do on your own, and just see what effect that has on your concentration. You'll get concentrated very quickly, and you'll build up your leg strength and your balance. So, okay. Now, the flying crane, has a number of variations, but why don't we go into this? So this is the external crane. And this is the internal crane. Now this is, if you just hold this position, this refers to the DNA double helix, the spiral. And there are, I was taught, but don't remember all of it, there are sort of DNA Qigong movements, but this is one we do all the time. Turn the palms toward the body. So out. Okay, and then this is a spiraling internally, and then an expressing. This is kind of a wind up. We're twisting the arms, it's kind of winding up and then releasing. And if you remember, you alternate the hands. Okay, very good. Okay, with the next one, we're going to move the hands all the way up, 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 up. Okay, and this is what Trisha Yu calls the sky cone. So the hands are like this. The sky cone. Okay. And then moving down, so the opposite of that is the earth cone, standing mountain, basically. So you can imagine this cone all around. It's the earth cone. And then this one, looking up, this is the sky cone. Okay. And the practices for these, the spiraling practices, are we're going to turn to the left or turn one way, turn the other way, and do this shift. And this is just like the Tai Chi twist. So we sink, twist, and then rise up. So this is called Qi swirling above the head. Okay. And this is describing that cone as moving. It's not static. Okay, now let go of the arms and just let the hands make a circle. So we're not just doing left and right, we're doing a whole circle. So this is the sky cone and the spiral. Okay, so don't worry about which way you're going. Okay, so we're moving in harmony with this spiral energy. Energy of the galaxy. That's just the tendency to spiral that's in us. Okay. All right, very good. Let's reduce. Okay, and back to the sky cone. And now just gonna go the other way. You're shifting the weight, turning, you're moving the hands out, making a great big circle. Going the other way. Kind of creating a weather system around the body. Qi twirling above the head. Okay, and now let's slowly move the hands down. Okay, and then just come to rest, reduce the movement, come to rest. Okay. And now let's do tree and spring. So this is the torus. This goes up through the middle of all this. The column is sort of the still point in the middle of the storm. Okay, and then to balance the other way, then let's do tree in autumn. Okay, let's do a couple more. Okay, and reduce. Okay, and then come back to standing mountain or the earth cone. And now this will be very similar to the Tai Chi twist. So turning. This is the spiraling motion going down the earth cone. Okay, very good. Very good. So this is just a way to experience this spiraling in the body through movement. Okay, let's just reduce. So now in this standing posture, we feel the standing body, we feel the posture, and then there's this torus, there's this empty column from the center of the earth through the body out into the universe. That's there. And then we can remember sort of spiraling above the head. There's this spiraling movement. If air moves through a tunnel, it twists it, it spirals. It's just what nature does. And now with the breath, let's breathe down through the crown of the head. Fill up the body. And then out the feet. So we're feeling that, moving that through. And now looking down on your body from above, as you breathe down, it moves clockwise. So breathe down. Let's just do the in-breath. We're taking birth with every breath. So it comes down. You can imagine it's spiraling down. And then just breathe out the pores of the skin. So there's that extra dimension of movement when we're breathing and with the body. Okay. Now let's focus on the out breath. And with the out breath, we're spiraling down into the earth clockwise. And now, you know, with all the reverse breathing, everything can be done the other way. So don't be concerned about which direction you're doing this. Just let it, whatever direction, let it be that. The main thing is that you're in tune with this spiraling movement as the air moves through this empty tube, or the energy moves through this empty tube. Okay, very good. Let's take a couple more breaths. Okay, let's go ahead and bring up the stool. Don't worry about getting it all right. This is very advanced, but the movement of air does spiral through a tube, whether it's your nostrils or your trachea or this energetic column in the body, whatever it is. And now we're going to move into this from a different direction. So just drop into your sitting posture, if you will. Okay, and then locate that vertical column or the vertical axis in the body. Comes from the center of the earth through the perineum, straight up through the body, out the top of the head, into the universe. Okay, now along that axis, see if you can find the still point in the abdomen where the in-breath begins. You have to really release the muscles in the belly. There's a still point, and then it suddenly moves with the in-breath. You can feel it. Okay, very good. Now let's drop our attention to that still point. And we're going to circle the torso very subtly, making little circles. We're circling the torso around that point. Okay, so that center line is straight up from the earth, goes to that point, and then it moves in a conical direction. So you're making these circles a little bigger, and you're circling around that central point. It's in the middle of the body. Okay, very good. And then just make the circles a little bigger each time. Okay, now let's bring in the breath. So as you're leaning forward, that's an out breath. As you're leaning back, it's an in breath. And just move with the rhythm of your breath. Okay, there's circling the upper body, just being relaxed. Okay, now let's just move in a clockwise direction, just so we're all on the same page. So maybe you are now, or you have to switch. We're moving clockwise, viewed from above. We're moving clockwise. Okay, and now let your chin get involved and your head. So just loosen that and make circles with your chin and your head and your neck. So the upper body is circling in rhythm with the breath in a clockwise direction. And now as you make your circles bigger, and use the chin and create a spiral. Not just a circle, but it's a spiral that's moving up from the lower belly, moving up, getting bigger and bigger, involving the whole upper body. Whole upper body is spiraling. Then it goes beyond the body, goes way up, gets bigger, bigger, bigger. So this whole upper body is spiraling up. With the breath. And just imagine getting bigger, very, very, very big. The circles are very, very big. The body is way down there. Spiraling the upper body with the breath. Okay. Let the circles get a little smaller, a little smaller. Bring the spirals in. Come into stillness, come to the still point. And now let's repeat that without moving the body. Use the breath. You can use the eyes if you want to. And remember that feeling of moving that. And make the spirals bigger and bigger with the body right in the middle. It's like this whole vortex is forming with the body right in the middle. And it's moving with the breath. Very, very, very big. It's kind of like a tornado, only it's clear and more gentle. But it's moving like that. And it's expanding way, 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 way out. And then let that continue and just drop into the still body now. And let that all move all by itself. This is a still point concentration in the midst of this swirling energy. This is the concentration practice of being in the body in the midst of all the energy moving everywhere in the world all at once, and being still in the midst of it. And then just let it, just release it all. Okay, very good. Okay, now let's repeat with moving the body. We're going to move the other way, counterclockwise, with the breath. Okay, and this movement is moving down. The circles are getting bigger, moving down into the earth. And the earth is spinning. Body is moving with that. Okay. Just let the movement subside. And now the torus is breathe in breath breathe up from below, up through the center of the body. When it reaches the chest, out breath, continue up, out the top of the head. And then come down all around the sides, in breath from below. Out breath above. This is tree and spring without moving. Okay. Very good. So the uses for this in a meditation practice, if you want to go up, and in Taoism, there are many non-physical beings. If you want to go up and commune with one of them or more, then you spiral upward. Or if it's a person, I was going to say it's a person who's died, you would go upward. And in shamanism, this is the upper world, the non-physical. And if you practice this spiraling upward, according to the teachings, it can put you in touch with sort of ascended beings, higher beings, your deep wisdom, sources of inspiration, creativity, and so on. And then conversely, if you want to if you want to be very solid and grounded, if you're doing, say, a mountain meditation, you're going to go counterclockwise and the energy down into the earth, into the body, and feeling very, very stable. And so shamanic practice calls this the lower world. In Taoism, this is original Qi. This is just the fundamental energy of the universe. It's very stable. It's as stable as a mountain. So this would be for a concentration practice type of meditation. A grounding meditation for stability. And then if it's an insight practice, then you sort of want to go up to get a bigger view. And if you practice with these, they'll always be there. So even if you're focusing your attention up, you'll still be very stable with the downward aspect. And same with the other way, if you're dropping really down into the body, into the earth, this real stability, there's an awakeness that knows it's doing that. And you don't just have to do this mentally. When you sit down to meditate, if you have an intention to go up or down, do it with the body. Just move the body and spiral the body in that direction. Then reduce that physical movement, and then just use the memory or the mind to continue the movement. So of course, the in-breath is associated with filling up. So first breath, it's birth. The out-breath with releasing. So the out-breath would be releasing up. In-breath would be dropping down. And then, of course, the opposites are true once you begin to practice. Okay, so before we end the meditation, let's just do a little of this, moving the torso in a circle. And then also moving the head and neck, just loosening the upper body. So the teachings would say that both of these spiraling energies are with us all the time. So the energies of the formless consciousness, the spiritual energy, their chi is there all the time. And then the physicality, the stability, connection to the ancestors and the earth and so on. These energies are there in all of us. So before we finish, I want to tell you a story, true story about this. One of my students who was behind bars, who's living in prison, was in solitary confinement long ago, for a very long time. And he happened upon this spiraling practice somehow. He was sitting all alone and he started moving his body and he wanted to go up. I'm telling you, this is what he told me. He wanted to go up and he went up and up and up and up and up. And he went so far up, he could see the whole world. He could see the sky and the universe. And he found all these wise beings up there. And they taught him all these things. And he has no idea how long he was in that mind state. Quite a while, I think. And when he finally came back, he just said, okay, I've had enough of this acting out. I've had enough of this life. And he completely and totally changed his life and became a Buddhist, a very deep practitioner, actually, who had a lot of influence on other people. And over the years, his behavior was so exemplary that eventually they moved him to a medium, a minimum, and eventually he got out. But this is the experience that he shared. And so it's not just a teaching, it's rooted in the natural nature energies that are here in the body and in the universe. And that's what he discovered. Wonderful story. Okay, so on the count of 3, let's go ahead and clap our hands one time. 1, 2, 3. Make heat. Massage the eye sockets, but don't touch the eyes. Comb back the hair. Massage the forehead, temples, ears. Jaw. Okay, and make loose fists and tap the kidneys. Okay, thank you so much for your practice. May it benefit you and all beings. This is a little deeper, this spiraling energy. It's not often directly taught, it's more implied. So don't feel badly if it was a little challenging, because it is. And now if you'd like to leave and go eat your dinner or whatever, please do. And if you want to stay and talk a little bit,
Thank
then
you.
we can do that.
Thanks, Stephen. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
Thanks. That was great.
Okay. Any
And
comments, questions, anything? No?
I wanted to thank you for Saturday, actually.
Oh,
I didn't stay for the final hour because I had started to get a headache.
hmm
And so I just was like, all right, I'll just.
yeah, smart. Yeah, but it was useful for you.
I mean, I think it's always useful.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Good. What
And
about
this-
this spiraling stuff?
I mean, for me, it felt really grounding.
I have not ever been taught this. You know, I mean, only implicitly, you know, by the movements. But I think it's really deep. I think we're in touch with energies there that are just extremely powerful and very deep and very natural. And to intentionally harmonize with that, well, let's just say it's it's work for me. Leave it at that. I only teach what I know. So, and the story from the guy,
Yeah.
I mean, this is a guy from the deep ghetto in Milwaukee. I mean, and if you saw him, just so massive and powerfully built.
Mhm.
And when he took the vows, when he became a Buddhist, he would go and he would sit with the gay guys at lunch, which you don't do.
Mhm.
But people respected him so much. He just said, you know, don't bother these guys. Just leave them alone. And they did.
Mm.
You know, it was amazing. Just an amazing transformation. And he found it on his own and then
Mhm.
told me about it. So,
It's pretty amazing.
yeah, isn't it something? I mean, what can happen? If I don't know, and I don't know why it happened to him and not to somebody else, you know, but that's how it came down.
I was inspired today to join partly because I was home on time, but also I've been doing Qigong practice,
Mhm.
sort of in sitting meditation. Sometimes some powerful energies will arise and circulating that is pretty helpful.
Absolutely true. Yeah. And if you just do it for the first time, it seems strange, or maybe the second, third. After a while, though, you know, I tried doing that not too long ago, the microcosmic orbit, some of the internal, and I had eaten too much for the meal before. I knew I ate a little. I didn't eat a lot too much, but I ate a little too much. I started getting sick
Mm.
right away. As soon as I started that practice, I breathed maybe 2 times, and I said, "No, this is not going to happen."
Mm.
You know, and it was just so clear the effect that the practice was having on my physical body. And I didn't do it. I did something else until I emptied out a little more. But the energies that you get in touch with in this they're very powerful and very subtle at the same time.
Yeah. Have you
Thank
ever
you for-
tried to describe it to people who don't practice at all?
No,
I did that mistake.
no.
I've
I've
never
actually, since it's
Qigong
just the
too.
2 of you, I mean, I've done these with people who are dying.
Mm.
You know, when I've been called to be there with them. You know, if you move there at the top of the head, you know, to help release, you know, or you start with the feet, you know, you move, and you can move their energy right up the body. You know, and it doesn't accelerate death, but it smooths it out.
Mhm.
You know, it makes it more coherent, you know, and it's good for the practitioner too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
Well,
well.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Russ, thank you for the reminder because I don't usually do Qigong on my own and I'm gonna try and
yeah,
do that
and
now.
I had not thought of it in a long time, and I don't know what made me think to do it, but
Yeah,
partly
that's great.
because I was kind of having some difficult energies, and then just circulating it kind of, you know,
Mhm.
smooths it out,
moves it through. Yeah,
moves it through. Yeah.
yeah. Well, glad to see you again, Russ.
Yes, good to see you too.
Always good to see you, Zo.
Likewise, take care. Have a good night with you.
Okay.